Have you ever thought that the police may someday knock your door and take your spouse away? How do you think you would explain to your kids where their father is? Away working? And when is he exactly coming back? These are the questions that thousands of women go through every day in Turkey. And it particularly struck me when I received a letter recently from a Turkish woman who was left to raise five children because her husband was arrested 2 months ago on charges of overthrowing the government. The woman tells me in the letter that her husband is a history graduate who started a successful business and who is not involved in politics whatsoever, let alone taking part in a military coup. How do you explain this to your kids? And that mother told her kids that their father is on a business trip who would make a lot of money and come back very soon. It's a heart-wrenching letter, really, and I wanted to take a few moments to share it with you, because this is not an isolated incident. It's part of a massive crackdown in which 96,000 people have been detained over ludicrous charges such as downloading a messaging app or subscribing to our newspaper or having $1 bills. How do you explain to your kids that their father is arrested not because he's a bad guy, but because there's no rule of law in Turkey? Because everyone, at any moment, could be arrested. There's no lawyer to defend them. There's no independent judge to clear them. And there's no one to hear them. In the letter, the mother is frustrated. She was giving this the most difficult task to explain her children what happened to their father. How would you answer to your 10 years old daughter who keeps asking to make a video phone call with her dad? What do you do when you run out of excuses? How would you feel when you saw the disappointment in the face of a 3 years old kid who runs to the door every time it knocks and finds out that it's not her father? What about 6-month-old baby? How will she accept her father if he comes back in 5 or 10 years? How do you plan to tell her that the stranger man is her father? The Turkish government recently released 40,000 convicted prisoners to make space for tens of thousands of men, women who are not even remotely connected to the bloodshed on July 15. These are mostly just parents mentioned in this letter. Their crime? Not to be loyal to Erdogan. And their stories are hidden. They are voiceless. They are the real victims. As long as this tragedy drags on, I'll be here every week to make sure that their voices are heard, loud and clear. For now, take care.